And our next speaker is somebody who's, I think, spoken here in the past. And we're going to have a look again. And Doug Arnold is going to tell us about Henrietta, Swan, Leavitt, and standard candles. This sounds like the titles for the second half are awesome. So we're on to stage, Doug Arnold.
Thank you very much. So, as always happens, I get a title, then I start writing it, and it turns into something different. So our heroine, Henrietta Leavitt Swan, or Swan Leavitt, is coming in the second half, so don't blink, because you might miss her. So a bit of context, kind of the ancient thinkers that have influenced the Western world, and basically the world that we're in, believed in geocentricity. We were at the centre of everything. The moon, the sun, went round once every day, and it's not hard to believe that you're the centre of something. If you were to draw a map, then you would be at the centre of that. Tycho Brahe, in the Age of Enlightenment, he had a bit of a dodgy nose. He lost it in a duel, nothing to do with syphilis. He believed that everything went round the sun, and then that in turn went round the earth. We've got Nicholas Copernicus, who believed that everything went around the sun, and that was much closer. But Galileo Galilei, when he listened to this, he was branded a heretic by the Catholic Church. Now, William of Ockham, if we go back, simpler solutions are more likely to be correct than complex ones. So this on the left is the models of the orbits, if everything goes around the sun, but the spirograph is if everything goes around the Earth. And obviously, going into the 1800s, we know the Earth is just going around the sun and it's in the galaxy. William Herschel still believed that this was at the centre of the galaxy. There's this innate human thing that we need to be at the centre of something. So into the 1900s, telescopes get larger. The Leviathan at Parsonstown is still in Ireland, well worth a visit. And we saw these faint, fuzzy things that were spiral nebulae. And we didn't know what they are. Because in astronomy, it's very, very hard to know the size of something. And because of its distance, we're just looking at a very flat, two-dimensional image. So the rigour of kind of the conversation about what are these spiral nebulae are basically kind of, are they small things that are close? And our galaxy is the whole universe, or are they actually really far away and galaxies in their own right? And it was basically Henrietta Leavitt Swan that developed a method to fix this. The Harvard computers. Edward Pickering is here with his harem, as they were called. Thankfully, things have moved on. There's a fantastic book, The Glass Universe, by David Sobel, about it. And the computers were a group of highly trained individuals who would take the photographic plates taken by male astronomers, and then they would do the diligent work of measuring brightnesses of all of these sources and tabulating them. Very precise work. Henrietta Swan Leavitt was hard-working, serious-minded, little given to frivolous pursuits, and selflessly devoted to her family, her church, and her career. A perfect person to be doing this kind of repetitive but highly skilled tasks. And she was looking at Cepheid Variables. These are stars that are a bit unstable, and they oscillate, and they get larger and smaller, and because of that, their temperature changes. And she was measuring the period of this temperature change. And in 1912, she noticed something remarkable. She was monitoring almost 2,000 of these in the Small Magellanic Cloud that's at the same distance away, and these are parts of her original paper in 1912. And what she found for a few of the brighter ones is that the brightness of them was the same as the period. There was a relationship. So now, if we could measure the period of the brightening and fading of this star, we could know what the source brightness was. And this was a really powerful thing, that if we could then measure what we observe as the brightness, we can just work out, for fans of the area of sphere, 1/r² relationship, we can work out the distance to things. Now, unfortunately, she died, and she had many happy faculty of appreciating that all that's worthy of Liverpool in others, and was possessed of a nature so full of sunshine that to her, all of her life became beautiful and full of meaning. That was from a colleague, just a fantastic person. Edwin Hubble in 1923, 2 years after her death, found one of these Cepheid variables in the Andromeda galaxy. And he measured the distance, and excuse the pun, it was an astronomical distance, and the Andromeda galaxy was a galaxy in its own right. In 1924, she was nominated for the Nobel Prize. They hadn't realised that she died, and posthumously Nobel Prizes cannot be awarded. But her work was absolutely fantastic. And this is the most boring bit of the sky, where Edwin Hubble's namesake telescope pointed in '95. Everything in there, except one thing with spikes, is a galaxy. And her tool allowed us to know that we're not in a privileged place in the universe. We're around an unremarkable star, in an unremarkable galaxy, and that we're nowhere special. Thank you.